Hello. I want to come on live. I'm literally sitting in my closet because my children are here and they are, hi Steph. Hi guys. Coming to you from my closet because my kids are here and they're like little moths to a flame. So I'm literally like locked in my room. But I wanted to come on and talk to you about the Money Coven, which is the Money Sense membership. It is live today, open doors for the public. And just very excited, wanted to get on here really quick and answer any questions you might have, kind of give you just an overview of what the program is and what the membership is. Again, at any point during this live, you can comment the word join and I'll send you the information to learn a bit more about the Coven and join if you like. But if you haven't been on my page much, I'm Molly. I'm a certified financial planner and I've been a financial advisor for the last 18 years. I actually quit my client-facing advising job back in the fall of 2024, the late fall of 24, to start Money Sense. I've really felt like my time in that type of role, managing client assets, was just kind of had come to its end. I actually have a teaching background. I was an elementary school teacher for like a hot minute, many years ago, but since 2006 have been in the financial industry. So I really felt like I kind of wanted to go back to my roots, because when I was a financial advisor, what I was told over and over again was that the part of the job that I was the best at was actually educating people about some of these financial topics. So over the last few months, I've been building Money Sense and, trying to get a community going and together with my people, and now have launched the Money Coven, which is the Money Sense membership. The doors opened this evening. Again, you can comment join. And really my point of having the membership is to have a place where it's women only, women can come and learn about financial stuff in a comfortable environment where they don't feel like their questions are dumb. They're not intimidated to ask their questions. They're listened to, and actually their thoughts are considered. And the way that that's going to be facilitated is through weekly Q&As that'll be led by me. I do plan to have probably once a month a guest speaker. So there'll be three-ish weekly Q&As, and then there will be a guest speaker on a variety of different topics. So I'm excited about that. Those topics are going to range from mindset to niche specific things. Maybe a person who has a real interest in things like home and auto insurance, going into a rundown of like, here are the top things you need to know. But all of these things are going to be kind of quick and dirty. We're all busy women, whether you have kids or not, everyone's got busy lives. And so the goal is to create an environment for women to learn the education that they need to know in a comfortable setting, without taking hours and hours of their time. So the Money Coven is open. You can comment join below. Right now, the price is a $37 a month, monthly membership fee. There's no time length commitment. You could cancel at any point. So $37 a month right now, and that will go until next Monday night. That's how long my launch period is going to be. And once that is over, it's going to be $47 a month. So I encourage you, if you have any interest, again, there's no time length commitment for you to stay in it. You can come in, learn what you need to know, and hop out if you'd like. Obviously, I would love to create an environment where you want to stay for an extended period of time. But things that is one question that I have been asked previously is, how long will this take? And when you get into the membership, the first thing you're going to really want to do is dive into the Money Sense method, which is my kind of process from A to Z that takes you from financial chaos kind of to clarity, where it's going to hold your hand through 5 steps to really get your shit together, basically. So that's already preloaded. Step 1 of the method is already preloaded into, hi Susie, Step 1 is already preloaded into the membership. So right when you get in, if you get in tonight, you can already start to make some progress. There's actually a workbook that goes along with it. Right now it's like 46 pages and I'm just going to keep adding to it. But that is a workbook that you can hold on to and literally go lesson by lesson, step by step. It corresponds really well, and keep all your stuff together. As you're kind of aggregating and getting everything pulled together, you'll have a nice tidy place to put everything. So when you get into the membership, that's the first thing you're going to have access to. Additionally, there are member resources in there, which will include eventually some financial calculators, which right now there's a life insurance calculator in there. That's a really great tool. There's also like a divorced women's checklist that's in the member resource area. There's a couple other things. And there's my beginner's guide to investing is in there. I think I have a specific mindset guide in there. But lots of different resources for you to dive in and start looking at right away if you were to join tonight. So if you comment join below, you'll get the information to get into the Money Coven at the $37 a month kind of founding member early bird price, which is only good for the next 6 days. And that price will be locked in as long as you are in the Coven. I gotta take a drink of water. Okay, so some other features of the Money Coven. Each step of the Money Sense method has kind of a different point, right? There's a different purpose of each step of the Money Sense method. So I have areas in there where you can go and congregate with women that are in that particular step. So you'll be able to get questions answered quickly. If I happen to not be available in that moment to answer, you'll be able to connect quickly with other women that are in that step of the process. Additionally, these sub channels that I'm going to have, these sub threads, they're going to evolve into specific spaces related to where you are in your stage of life as well. So I think I'm going to have a sub thread related to single moms and maybe some of their financial struggles. I'm going to have a sub thread related to divorced moms and some of their financial struggles. Maybe recently divorced moms. Single women that, aren't married may have a specific thread, and also business owners that are women that are in the group would have a specific thread. So I want to be able to provide a place where there is a nice group and you can get a lot of community support. But you can kind of niche down into those specific areas if you want to connect more specifically with someone that's exactly in your stage of life at this point. What else? I mentioned that the $37 a month, that's going to be locked in forever. And a big reason why, I personally decided to do this is because I saw women come through the door as I was an advisor, and there was just lots of times where you could tell that they were either overwhelmed with everything else going on in their life and they just didn't have time to kind of deal with this. But if their spouse was dealing with it, they weren't always necessarily comfortable, and completely confident about what was going on, but they didn't really have a space or feel comfortable talking about it. And, these would be really quick engagements and wouldn't necessarily have an opportunity to develop more of a connection with them. But I just really felt like I wanted to create a space where women can come and get, sorry, my children are knocking at the door, so I'm listening to them. Got distracted. I just want them to have a space where they can learn the stuff they need to know in a comfortable setting from a person who actually is a financial advisor. I've got 18 years of experience. I'm a certified financial planner. I've been doing this a really long time. And instead of managing people's assets and trying to hunt down more millionaires to see if I can manage their money, I want to turn around and take education to the women that really need it, because the more money that we have in women's hands, the better we're all going to be. In regard to paying a monthly membership fee, especially for the folks who might be actually paying a financial advisor right now, it's really important to know what you're paying, because the average account balance in the United States, the average account household in the United States is about $350,000 that a financial advisor manages. So if you happen to be someone who has hired an advisor and you're maybe in that range, you're probably paying them anywhere in the ballpark of $3,500 to $4,500 per year for their management fee. And that actually doesn't include the cost of the funds that are inside your accounts, because there's internal costs of those funds that also aren't very transparent. They're kind of hard to see. So when you add up what that $3,500 to $4,500 a year will cost you down the road, especially in retirement, it's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, if you're 20 plus years away from retirement and you're paying $3,500 to $4,500 a year in a management fee, it is going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in potential growth. So the way I like to frame it to people is, for, less than $500 a year, essentially, you can get access to an advisor. I do individual one-on-ones periodically. I don't do a ton of them. So you can get actual individual advice specifically to your situation with me if you wanted. But you'll have the opportunity, to learn through my process and then come to the Q&As with specific questions that you want to answer that you can then apply to your own situation. So the cost savings is enormous compared to what you're getting from a different financial advisor. And the reality is, when you hire, if you're in those dollar ranges with your accounts and your households, those advisors are literally just putting you in like a proprietary model. Like, they are taking your money, finding out what your risk tolerance is, how much risk you want to take in your investments, and then they're kind of dropping you into some proprietary model, which just means a model that their firm has created. They're just kind of going to drop you in that model with all these other investors. So what you're actually getting for that $3,500 to $4,500 fee is not a lot of, customization, and especially for retirement dollars that are going to sit there forever. I just really argue that people don't need to pay that fee. They just need a little more education. And so that's what I'm here with the Money Coven to do for women. So the doors are open. They opened a couple hours ago tonight. I'm very excited and really look forward to seeing any and all of you in the Money Coven. Again, there's no commitment. You can come learn what you need to do and what you'd like to learn. And if you'd like to cancel and leave, you can do that. There's no penalty or time commitment that you have to be in there. But obviously I would like to create an environment where you'll stick around. But the doors are open. If you wanted to comment, join below. I can, I'll send you the information to get going on in the Money Coven, and I'll be sure to, welcome you when you come in. But $37 a month for now until Monday evening. And after Monday evening, it's going to go to $47 a month. So wondering if there are any questions that come through. I'm trying to think if I had a couple other questions last week. Oh, is this appropriate if you're a total beginner? Absolutely. Over time, the Money Sense method that I mentioned is literally from the very start. So it doesn't matter if you've got multiple millions of dollars or if you are really starting from scratch. If you know nothing, we're going to start you at the beginning, just like everybody else, because the first step is sort of like, let's get all your stuff together. And whether you have tons of money or not tons of money, you have to go through that step. And then we'll kind of build on top of that. So as that progresses, we'll be able to sort of create specific areas for women who maybe have more advanced knowledge of the topics. And we can create, separate Q&As just depending upon what your education level is on it. So if you're, oh, look, hi, gal. Yes, how can we connect with others? I like to know I'm not alone in my money struggles. That's perfect that you say that, because there is another woman that's already in the Money Coven that said, do I think I'm bad at money? No. Do I think I'm necessarily setting myself up for success in the future? Also no. So you don't have to be a complete novice to have it be appropriate. You don't have to be like an expert and just be like, oh, tell me that everything's going to be okay. There's going to be something for everybody in here. And what I love about opening it up right now is the ability to customize it and be able to kind of build with what people want. And hear from people about what they do want and what they want to see in there. There will be a Q&A kind of question box where you can input a suggestion of a module that you'd like me to maybe do a training on. And so then I can, either add that to the method or just have a specific Q&A where we can talk about that particular training. So there's opportunity for your voice to be heard while we're going through the coven together. And also, if you have recommendations of specialists that you'd like to hear from, I can certainly try to get people in as guest speakers, and look forward to, actually tomorrow I'm leaving for a conference down in Orlando where I'm going to be meeting with a lot of different mom creators, and certainly look forward to getting more connections with the mom creators out there that can hopefully, enhance my membership, not even only on the financial side, but could be other stuff, like just have a nice space for women to come in, and maybe it's learning about, okay, I want to buy a car. That's obviously a financial decision. And going through the Money Sense method is going to help you determine like how much you can spend on a car and where a car really fits in your situation. But I kind of thought it would be fun to, find a woman who maybe is a salesperson of cars or is an expert of some sort of cars. And they can come in and say, okay, ladies, when you're going into the dealership, here's what you need to be prepared with. Here's where they tend to be scammy. Here's where they're not. So you can really kind of feel confident going in. I mean, as much as you can without being, a total car fanatic. But I just think things like that, where you can get additional guidance, would be great and kind of fun to have as a resource in the group. All the Q&As will be recorded, so there will be a library there that you can reference if you were ever to miss one of the Q&As. I do kind of plan to have those Q&As have sort of a quick training at the beginning, maybe the first 15 minutes or so. We'll talk about some certain topic, or maybe what's happening out in the markets, or just different financial situations and topics, and then the rest of it will be Q&A. So again, those will kind of be delineated by your knowledge level at some point. I may have specific ones for folks that are a little more advanced, and then fun ones that are for the more beginner folks, but that will just develop as time goes on. If you wanted to get into the Money Coven, you can comment join, and it's $37 a month right now until next Monday night. After next Monday night, it's going to go up to $47 a month. So join now. That price is locked in as long as you decide to stay in the Money Coven. And I would love to have you. Any questions? I'm going to have to go. My children are going to break down my door here shortly. Yeah, being able to celebrate successes too. I think that being able to be in a community where women are like actively trying to kind of improve their financial situation. I think with finances, there's really two ways to increase your wealth. You can either budget your way into miserableness, right, which I don't love, or you can increase your income. And so I really want to focus on increasing income and, helping people create kind of a growth mindset with their finances. And so if you're in this, community that's kind of a safe haven community, you can be confident sharing some of those wins. And, sometimes when you're with your friends, it may be hard to maybe you feel like you're bragging about money stuff, but if you're in this environment, I want that to be a welcoming environment where people can really celebrate their successes and their progress with their own finances. So again, for people who just hopped in, I'm Molly. I'm a certified financial planner, and I just opened the Money Coven, which is a women's group where women can learn financial education in a comfortable and welcoming environment. So if you're interested in joining, you can comment join below, and I'll send you off the information. But you can also comment join on any of my reels. If you were to go to my page and look through some of my pages, some of my reels, you can comment join on any of those, and you'll also get the information. So I'm going to wrap it up, but thank you guys so much for joining me from my closet because my kids are hunting me down. But thanks for joining. I hope to see you in the Money Coven. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to DM me, but it opens tonight, and the early bird kind of founding members price is good till next Monday night. And then the price goes up. So don't hesitate. Get going. Good to see you guys. Have a good night.